Welcome to the Advanced Women's Health Endometriosis Treatment Program. Endometriosis is a condition that we are so passionate about treating because it really affects every aspect of a woman's life. So it's not only during your reproductive years that endometriosis can have impacts, but it affects quality of life, it affects the immune system, it affects health, not only when you have your period, but outside of it. So endometriosis is classically defined as having endometrial tissue. So that's the tissue that lines the uterus in other places in the body. So commonly we find it in the cavity in your abdomen, around the ovaries, and things like that. But endometriosis is really hard to diagnose. In my clinical practice, I diagnose people or make a tentative diagnosis all the time based on symptoms and basic blood work because not everyone can have the gold standard diagnosis, which is something called laparoscopy. So it's where they go in and they look in your abdomen for lesions with a camera. So from that side of things, when I'm treating endometriosis, I'm using really progressive and evidence-based treatments to help with the symptoms of severe pain with the menstrual cycle, to help with the abdominal pain, to help with bloating, to help with pain with intercourse, pain with bowel movements, all of these things, because we know that these symptoms of endometriosis are worse with your period, but they happen all month long. And so in the treatment of endometriosis, it's commonly considered a hormonal condition. And I don't view it as such. So all of the research that's coming out recently shows that endometriosis is actually an immune system condition that's affected by hormones, which is why if you go on one of the standard of care hormonal modifications, or even if you've seen a naturopath and they've given you things to help modify your hormones, you may have not gotten symptom relief. So we know that inflammation is coming from the gut and something called the microbiome, which is all the bugs and all the things that are living inside the gut. There's an imbalance in there that causes more inflammation that then leads to more inflammation within the peritoneal cavity, as it's called. We know that endometriosis does often have a genetic side to it. So if other people in your family have it and you have symptoms, that's something that's often correlated. And we also know that endometriosis is highly affected by environmental exposures, which also means that modifying those environmental exposures, modifying the diet, and correcting the inflammation and the gut bugs can have a huge impact on quality of life and symptoms. We also know that acupuncture can have great results with endometriosis alongside things like pelvic physiotherapy, specific types of abdominal massage, etc. So at the end of the day, though, we're just really passionate about customizing your endometriosis treatment. And if you're struggling with symptoms but without a diagnosis, about supporting you to get that diagnosis or to treat you if everything looks like it is endometriosis. I always say, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And so there's so many things that we can do to help get you symptom relief with or without that accurate gold standard diagnosis. So if you have more questions about how we can support you on your endometriosis treatment journey, feel free to book a 15-minute consult with me. Alternatively, if you're ready to dive in and get your customized treatment plan going, then below you can book an appointment. And I really can't wait to get your treatment started. I can't wait to help you out in this journey and to see ultimately how you're improving.